Revelation 20, verse 14, death, Hades were thrown into the lake of fire. This
Yes.
is the second death, the lake of fire.
Yes, well, the second death is death. Death is the absence of life. So the idea that it would be conscious punishment is out of the question. The lake of fire will be there when Christ comes back at the beginning of the millennium. It says that the beast, that's the final political ruler, and the false prophet, that's the final religious deceiver, those two will be thrown alive into the lake of fire. The rest of the people are going to be killed. So whether you're thrown to the lake of fire, it means extinction of life. And you later realize in the second resurrection, those who are not judged worthy of the kingdom, in the second resurrection, some of them would be, because they never had a chance of hearing before. But those who are not judged worthy of that life of the age to come, immortality, will be thrown into the lake of fire. And finally, the lake of fire itself is destroyed. So eventually we come back to a paradise garden in which there is no lake of fire. The wicked will have been destroyed. That's called the doctrine of annihilation. By no means imagine a conscious torment for anybody, however wicked. Death is final. When you die, by the way, quite apart from the lake of fire, when you're dead, you're sleeping. Daniel 12, verse 2 is the key verse. Many of those who are sleeping, so to speak, they're not literally sleeping, but they're in a state of unconsciousness. Many of those who are now unconscious in death, because that's what death is, they will awake. Some of them will awake to the life of the age to come at the second coming. Others, there are two classes there, others will be raised to judgment, as John records Jesus saying. They'll receive a judgment, either positive or negative, depending what they might even do in the future and so on. That's another subject about the wider hope. But simply understand that death is always loss of consciousness, and the lake of fire, from which there is no recovery. There's no resurrection from the lake of fire. That's finality, and you're gone forever if you're burned up in the lake of fire. So the lake of fire itself is going to be destroyed before we get to the perfect conditions of Revelation 21 and 22.